going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. They always suck. The Dallas Cowboys suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all, going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. It really means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I usually try to do. So most times it goes way over 30 minutes, but try to go at least 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes. So if I see something in there, okay, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So just feel free, fire away, and I'll get to it as soon as I see it, all right? Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel out, there's a link in the description box, the top link. It takes you to my membership page. I have, there's 3 different membership levels I got. Okay, the first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet from the past. The older the helmet is, with the older the helmet and the design and all of that, means the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet associated with your name, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. Right now, there's 4 emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th emoji coming up, but right now, there's 4. Okay. I had them made up on Fiverr. It can crack me up every time I look at them. They're pretty cool. You can use them in the chat box if you're making a comment or something like that. So, I mean, as I said, there's 4 of them. Eventually, there'll be a 5th one coming out. But anybody who wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out or whatever, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, folks, right? As of right now, I got 6,118 subscribers. I started 6,000. I've gone up 7 subscribers today. But yesterday was a 35, 40. Yesterday I went up 46 subscribers. The day before that, I went up like 36 subscribers. So, I mean, I've been going up. It's been a lot. Ever since the season's been over with, I've been going up. I said today I've only gone up 7 so far. But, I mean, usually I'm going like 30 or 40 subscribers every day. It's just phenomenal. And if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I'm over 6,100 subscribers. I never even thought I'd hit 5,000. A few weeks ago, I went over the 5,000 subscriber mark. I said I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd actually have that many subscribers. It's absolutely freaking crazy. So please feel free to go down, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, be notified next time I put out a video or go live. And one final thing here, there's 2 links, okay, 2 additional links, okay, in the description box below. The top link, okay, takes you to my Facebook group, okay? It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, all right? Right now, we have over 2,400 members in the group, okay? I put stuff in there every day. Not only do I put stuff in there, but the members, if you become a member of the group, right, you post stuff in there as well, too. So I try to put at least, I'd say about 10 things at least every day in there, whether it's a picture, a post, a video, something, let's see, what do we got in here? There's a picture here. Sexy Dexter doing his dance. There's something about Carl Banks talking about Daniel Jones with the contract extension or contract talks that's going on. There's another thing in here. They're showing stats here from Daniel Jones versus Brock Purdy. The stats there, they're trying to compare the stats between the two players. Another one in here I posted in there is the Giants met extensively, which I'm going to be going over here in a minute, or in a few minutes anyway, with a Tennessee quarterback, the Tennessee Volunteers quarterback, Hendon Hooker, right? Extensively met. Well, there are other teams that met with him as well too. But so very, very interesting, very interesting. But so that's the group. Okay, so there's over 2,400 members. The second Facebook link, okay, in the description box, all right, takes you to my Facebook page. Okay, once again, that's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Now, my YouTube channel, okay, it's for an idiot like me, so I can remember everything. But between my YouTube channel, the Facebook group, and the Facebook page is all called New York Giants, the Gridiron. All right. Right now with the page, New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page, Facebook page, there's 645 people who like it, and there's over 3,100 people following it. Okay. Now I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post anything in there. Right. I said it's the same thing as like with the group. I try to put at least 10 things in there every day. I think I got in there. There's something from a Life magazine from 1960 showing a picture of the Giants and the Eagles playing in Yankee Stadium. Then I put a video out here of when Adoree Jackson stole the ball from Tyler Lockett in Seattle in Week 8, and he stole it and recovered it and got tackled at the 2-yard line, set up the touchdown from Saquon Barkley. Then there's another post in here showing Dez Bryant in the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, where he goes up, he has the ball, he comes down, lands on the ground, the ball kind of pops out, and they call it an incomplete pass. So I'm making fun of the Cowboys there. So I put at least 10 different things in there every day. And it's the same thing with the group. So between the group and the page, there's a ton of New York Giants information, every day. And I don't commingle. So basically what I put on the page, I don't put in the group, and vice versa. So if you go to the page, you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the two, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day. And if you're not satisfied, like I always say, you get your money back guaranteed. Right? All right. So all that stuff out of the way with here. Of course, all kinds of stuff winds up coming up and everything. With the, I guess from what you're hearing anyway, the talks going on between Daniel Jones, right, and he's changing his agents, and now with Athletes First. That's Sterling Shepard's, he's good friends with Sterling Shepard. So maybe, we don't know exactly what happened, but apparently maybe Sterling Shepard, was talking with Daniel Jones and all and everything. So, but, so with the contract talks, and you kind of maybe possibly hearing Daniel Jones might want up to $45 million, and the Giants are maybe looking to get 35 or 37 or something. So the contract talks seem to be dragging on. And, the only way the Giants could quite possibly, this related to Saquon is, really quite possibly it would really be tough, if the Giants had a problem signing Daniel Jones and they had a franchise tag him, because that's $32.5 million, 32.4, I believe it is. But the problem with that's boom, guaranteed money right out, takes right off the salary cap. Boom, gone. Right. So for the Giants to sign Saquon, and if they want to try to restructure, maybe add an extension to Andrew Thomas's contract or anybody like that, or it really be tough if they had franchise tag Daniel Jones. It would make it very difficult to sign any or a lot of their free agents, because usually what you try to do is, when you get that, you get the hopefully maybe a 4 or 5 year deal with Daniel Jones, whatever the case might want to be. But usually they try to make, where the first year, right? Say the annual per year is whatever, say 40, just throwing a number out there. So what they're trying to do, is that first year, it's not 40, it's going to be like maybe 20 or so, because you give them a sign-in bonus. So the first year is like 20, but then but then when the next year when the salary cap goes back up, that's when this cap hit. The second year might wind up going up. But you try to make it the first year where it's like a lot lower. So so instead of 35 or 40 going toward the cap, it's only 20. So now you got yourself some extra room, some extra money. You cut Kenny Golladay, maybe you can restructure Leonard Williams' contract, maybe add a couple-year extension to his contract. 32. He's going $32 million against the cap this year, so you got to drop that down. Maybe they might be able to drop that down at $10 million or so. You cut Kenny Golladay post June 1st, saved about $13 million, I believe there. So, if you cut Kenny Golladay, you save 13. Maybe you can restructure Leonard Williams, drop that his cap hit maybe down to about 10 million. Maybe drop it down and save 10 million. So between those two, you can save maybe 20 to 25 million dollars. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But that would be huge. But if they saved 25 million there, right? And then they have after they had a franchise tag Daniel Jones 32 million, they'd have about 10 million left in salary cap, right? And then if you save some money with Leonard Williams and Kenny Golladay, they might have $35 million, left. It's going to, they have to sign their draft class. They might want to try to bring a free agent in or two. It's not going to leave a lot of money left over, for a big time free, signing of maybe Saquon, because we got a ton of guys out there. I don't know, I'm sure there's some guys they want to bring back. Do you want to bring back one Saquon? If you kind of maybe hurt and struggling a little bit for some salary cap money, or do you want to bring back, maybe I don't know, I'm just throwing, Sterling Shepard, Nick Gates, Feliciano, Richie James. You want to bring Julian Love? Do you want to bring back 5 guys, or you just want to bring back 1? Yeah, it's kind of, kind of tough. I'd rather I love Saquon, but it makes it kind of tough. So, with all these talks kind of going on, maybe, with Daniel Jones causing some, you can't say he's causing problems. He's just trying to get as much as he can. That's all. But one of the problems is that, as I said before, from Jared Jones from the Dallas Cowboys, if I can go to the chalkboard here, see, it works like that. The bigger the piece of pie that Daniel Jones wants, okay, the less a piece of pie there is for the rest of the team. Okay. So I get it. He's trying to get as much money as he can and bid and all that. That's great. Okay. But do you want guys, do you want guys on the team that can maybe protect you? Do you want guys maybe you can throw the football to? Or do you want a bunch of me out there running around out there? I'm not very good at catching balls. I can tell you that much. I'm not very good at blocking either. I can tell you that much. Sometimes, and I said, it's nice and I get it and all that stuff. But sometimes you get a little too greedy, right? And it doesn't leave much of a piece of pie for the rest of the players, okay? So, you got to, sometimes you got to start thinking, do I want guys to be able to throw the ball to, or do I want all the money for myself? So, but I kind of seen this thing. I also saw that Giants and Saquon trying to close the gap in negotiations. Who's this from? Giants Wire. Giants would very much like to re-sign Saquon, but only at a salary that they can absorb under the salary cap, obviously. Barkley and his representatives are seeking a multi-year deal somewhere along the lines of Christian McCaffrey, around $16 million per. But the Giants are aiming a bit lower, and I don't blame them. Big Blue's midseason offer to the Pro Bowl back was for 3 years and approximately $37.5 million. Similar to the deal Cleveland Browns gave to Nick Chubb. With the franchise tag window opening, the two sides are still apart on the details on a new deal. Right? As of the latest talks from Paul Schwartz, New York Post. Gaps still exist. The Giants are not going to go much higher than an annual of $12.5 million. I don't blame them. I understand. I can understand that. Yeah, you can replace. It's tough to totally replace Saquon. Don't get me wrong, but you can. As we've seen, Super Bowl winning teams don't need a $16 million, running back. Giants have little interest in having Barkley play for the season under the franchise tag because they're unwilling to eat up so much of their cap space on a running back in the first year. In the first year of Nick Chubb's contract in 2021, his cap number was only $4.7 million. That's about what the Giants would like to do. Sign Saquon to 12 or 13 million or whatever, but have his initial cap hit the first year be like maybe about 5 million. That's, and then the second year, his cap hit goes up, and so does the salary cap, right? And it says here the Giants currently have about 44 million in available cap space, but much of that, unfortunately, is earmarked for the retain for trying to go toward Daniel Jones, right? Now the thing is also, it's like see with Saquon, obviously they want the long-term deal, okay? Obviously, I guess the 3-year deal. I guess maybe I'm sure they were like a 4-year deal or whatever, but I'm sure the Giants don't want him to go any more than 3, especially if it's a running back who's had some injury history, right? But the thing is, even if they give him, say, $15 million, right, they're only going to they ain't guaranteeing 15, right? They might guarantee maybe 8 or 9 or 10 of that. Well, they have to want a franchise tag him. Well, that's all guaranteed money. So if they franchise tag him for 10, right, that's all guaranteed money. So, but that, of course, if you're only franchise tagging, that's just a 1-year deal. I'm sure if Saquon wants the longer term, it makes a little bit more money, more guaranteed money, But once again, it's the problem is all these guys want all this money, which is great and fine and fancy, But once again, is the thing I hate about the way the football has been going. The more the players want, the less you have for they're talking about here, right? You got all the money maybe going toward Daniel Jones, and they have other players such as Julian Love they want to try to bring back. Well, they can't afford it. Why? Because these guys want all this money. It's great, but once again, the more money they're trying to stuff their pockets with, the less the money the team has to pay other players. So now they have until the franchise tag goes up to March 7th. So the franchise tag window actually opened up. Okay, it opened up yesterday. They could start putting a franchise tag on players yesterday. They obviously haven't done that yet, but they have until March 7th to put one tag on a player. So we'll have to wait and see what winds up happening there. Okay, but I saw a couple articles here that kind of talk about one of them was the Saquon Barkley to sign with the Bills. I don't know. I don't see this thing happening here. According to the latest odds, the Bills joined the Bears at the top of the list in terms of possible Saquon landing spots with the Broncos and the Chiefs. And then I saw another one here that got Saquon going to the Bears, the Falcons, and the Lions. And also, I thought I see that there was the Dolphins too. I think it was. Now the thing is with the Giants. Let's see here. The Bills would have to alter their cap-relating thinking, because Brandon Beane on record saying there's obviously he won't feature any Von Miller-sized additions. And third, Buffalo would have to decide that Devin Singletary may be leaving in free agency. The Cup board doesn't. They don't seem to wind up dishing out big-time. It's sometimes it's a little weird where these people get their, But I tell you what, if the Bills were able to add Saquon somehow. Got Josh Allen who can run the ball, but then to give him a running back. With Saquon's ability, who can catch the ball out of the backfield, and with Stephon Diggs, the other weapons they have, that would be a potent offense they would have. The only thing is that Buffalo right now is minus $18 million over the cap. They don't have enough money to sign their own draft picks. I don't know where the hell they're talking about. Some of these guys. They got some guys. Right now the cap hit for Josh Allen is $39, almost $40 million. Stephon Diggs' salary cap hit this coming up year is $20 million. Von Miller is almost $19 million. Tre'Davious White, $16 million. Deion Dawkins, their left tackle, his cap is almost $15 million. Matt Milano, wow, geez, his cap hit is $13 million. Jeez, Mitch Morse, their center, he's 11. Ed Oliver, he's 10. Micah Hyde, he's 10. I mean, then they got Taron Johnson, I'm sorry, 9.2 million. I mean, they got some guys up there that make a big bucks. I mean, I don't know how the hell they're going to sign their draft class or not. I don't, much less try to add Saquon Barkley in there. I mean, that makes no sense at all to me. But then there's also reported, I mean, like with Chicago right now, according to Spot Track, they got like over almost $101 million in salary cap space. They could bring him in without question. I saw Atlanta. Atlanta's got over $55 million in salary cap space. That's a possibility. Now, the Lions, they got, according to Spot Track, right now, they have about $16 million. But I'll tell you what, their offense really took off really well last year. If they added Saquon in there, that would really help. But I mean, right now, they're a little low. And I also saw Miami, too. I mean, there's an article here. Where is it? Where the hell is it at? Is this it? Oh, well, there was 5 spots that he could go to. I saw it in this article from Pro Football Network. It's called Saquon Barkley landing spots, Bears, Falcons, and Lions loom as free agent suitors. But then there's 5 teams that they sent it. One is the Bears, the other one's the Falcons, the Commanders, okay, who have more than $30 million cap room. Okay, after they cut Carson Wentz. They can easily carve up to $40 million in space, even though the franchise tag and pain, all right? The Detroit Lions and the Miami Dolphins. I said, I don't know how the Dolphins somehow, I mean, the Dolphins are $12.5 million over the cap. So, I mean, they got to shave off a lot just to sign their draft class. So I don't know where they're going to wind up adding, a Saquon Barkley in there. I mean, they got Byron Jones making $18 million. Teron Armstead, I'm sorry, is making $21. Bradley Chubb is making $22. Tyreek Hill, his cap hit is $31 million this season. I mean, my God, they're lucky they got a quarterback on a rookie deal. I mean, once your quarterback goes up to 40, 50 million or whatever, I mean, you can kiss a lot of these guys goodbye. I don't know how they're going to be adding Saquon Barkley into this mix. But anyway, I mean, the Bears, I mean, Justin Fields, I'll tell you what, would benefit greatly from a Saquon Barkley back there, without question. Justin Fields obviously can run the ball. Saquon Barkley can run the ball. But I mean, if he wants Saquon out of that little dump, if there's nobody open down there, just dump it off to Saquon, let him gain a few yards or whatever like that. Justin Fields would definitely, without question, benefit big time from a Saquon. I'll tell you what, the best, friend is a good running game. But I mean, somebody who's a real good teammate, a good running back, but somebody who's good catching the ball. Saquon Barkley going to the Bears makes a lot of sense to me. If the Giants don't wind up re-signing Saquon, but we have a couple weeks to go on that one. But I just saw that and it's like, there's quite a few teams that could. Some of these don't make any sense. That the teams that have no salary cap space. I mean, like the Bills. I mean, it's nice to add that's Saquon to the Bills. Well, they don't have any money. So I don't know where some of this stuff's going to, but it is pretty interesting. But I mean, there'll be suitors, See, the one thing is that, if his demands are too high, okay, there'll be somebody out there like that has money that'll wind up paying for him, and that'll quite possibly be the Bears or someone like that. Then I saw this article, of course. Big Blue leads the NFL with 6 players suffering a torn ACL last year, and they led the league in torn ACLs in 2021 as well. And I think they're tied for the lead since 2019, I believe it is, in torn ACLs. But they got 14 since 2019. I think that's like tied for the lead in the NFL. And not that something you want to be tied for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they're 8th overall since 2013. Okay, with 19. But in the past 2 seasons alone, they've had 11 torn ACLs. They led the league in torn ACLs the last 2 years. They got 11. 7. Denver has 7. Yeah. Oh, okay. Tennessee has 7, and that's it. The Giants have 4 more torn ACLs in the past 2 seasons than the next closest 2 teams, Denver and Tennessee. And those 2 teams were hurt big time. I mean, Tennessee led the league. Man games lost this past season. Denver was up there. The Giants were like number 6. What you need to do is they need to go and they need to talk to Atlanta. Atlanta has since, or you can go to Oakland and the Raiders too. The Raiders. Basically, and see, Atlanta, okay, plays on turf, right? Chicago's down there, but they play on grass, all right? The Giants have had guys torn ACLs on grass and on their turf, so it's just not turf, okay? They've had it on practice fields, guys torn their ACLs on grass. So it's just not the grass. It's just not the turf, okay? It's just not the Giants. I mean, there's something going on. How they practice or warm up or don't warm up or stretch or don't stretch or something they're doing or not doing, okay, that some of these other teams are doing or not doing, that makes it. You need to go and you need to talk to Atlanta, okay? All right, so we got 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10 seasons, Atlanta's had 8 torn ACLs. Last 10 seasons. Okay, the Giants have had 19. Right. Atlanta, let's see, this past season, Atlanta, last 3 seasons have had 1 torn ACL, and they play on turf. They're indoors, play on turf. Last 3 seasons, 1 torn ACL. Okay, so they're doing something, whatever it is, and they're stretching, they're training, they're weight training, whatever it is. Whatever they're doing, something there. You need what Shane should do. Pick the phone up. Can we come down and just see what you guys do? Because whatever you're doing, it's working, right? I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, they had in 2014 they had 2 torn ACLs. But Atlanta, I'm talking about Atlanta. They had 1 in 2013, 2 in 2014, 1 in 15, none in 16, 17, 18, and 19. They had 1 each year. Right, 2020 they had none. 2021 they had 1 torn ACL, and this past season they didn't have any. Right, so the last 2 seasons they've had 1 torn ACL. Atlanta Falcons. The Giants have had 11. By far, the Giants are leading the league in the last 2 seasons. By far, they've had 11. They led the league this year in torn ACLs, and they led the league last year in torn ACLs. There's something that they're doing, and I said it's not. It is not. It's not. Maybe some of it might be the bad turf that they have. When Sterling Shepard's just running out. He wasn't even in the play. He just ran out. Boom, he's down. What happened? Oh, yeah, he just tore his ACL. He's out for the season. What do you mean? He was just walking. What happened? So some of it could be the turf. But why is it the Giants players? Why is it the Giant run 5, 6, 7 snaps? Boom, he's gone. He's out for the season. His season's over with. Why wasn't the Dallas Cowboy guy just jogging? Boom, his season's over. Why is it the Giants? Right. So if there's something the Giants are doing / not doing that they're supposed to be doing or aren't, something, you can get all the data you want. That's great and all that. I would talk to the Atlanta Falcons myself. Can I come down? Can we send somebody down there and just watch what you're doing? Right? Find out what's something. Because, best ability is availability, and nothing would derail the season faster than injuries. And that's all the Giants 11 torn ACLs in the last 2 seasons. Absolutely, unbelievably freaking pathetic. That's something they need to, can't take that stuff lightly. Can't take that stuff lightly. And then finally, I saw Giants reportedly scouting Tennessee Hendon Hooker extensively. Cool. I got this from Empire Sports Media. Well, there was a couple articles I saw. I said the Giants are in the midst of a contract negotiation with Daniel Jones, right? As he's set to become a free agent, Let's see. According to the Post, Jones' presence in the huddle in 2023 is really not up for debate in the minds of Joe Schoen, and they want him back. Definitely want him back. However, the Giants seem to be preparing, just in case, right? So they're reportedly scouting the 2023 NFL Draft quarterback prospects extensively. Now, some of it, like Bryce Young and those guys at the top of the Levis, and they're not getting those guys, right? I mean, they're not going to trade away, their next 97 draft picks to trade up into number 5, into the top 5 or top 3 or whatever they're going to need to be to get one of those quarterbacks. So they're going to have to try to get, maybe a Richardson falls, maybe. The dude's got all the talent in the world. He just needs to be refined, right? Same thing with Mr. Hooker here. Okay, he's 25, right? But, Ryan Fowler of the NFL Draft Network recently reported that the Volunteers quarterback prospect Hendon Hooker has generated a significant amount of pre-draft interest around the league. Fowler claims that Hooker has met extensively with the Raiders, the Panthers, the Giants, Saints, and Cowboys. Interesting. The two surprising teams are the Giants and the Cowboys, seeming to have their franchise quarterbacks in Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott, but respectively. However, both teams are heavily scouting Hooker ahead of April. Now, Hendon Hooker is a dual-threat quarterback prospect that had the 2022 season cut short once with an ACL, right, in November, all right? But he's supposed to be good to go for training camp, by the summer. Prior to suffering his torn ACL in November, Hendon Hooker was listed as the betting favorite to win the Heisman Trophy in October. Hooker threw for 3,135 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. 27-2 with 430 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns in 2022. 6'4", 218 pounds. 6'4", good size. Has all the tools and traits to be an NFL top signal caller. Hooker is athletic and has the prototypical build of an NFL quarterback. Let's see. Now, Hooker is currently listed with a 4th round value by the Draft Network, but Pro Football Focus has him as like the 94th, which would be just about the end of the 3rd round, toward the back end of the 3rd round. That kind of has him, right? PFF has Hooker as a 3rd round prospect, making him a reasonable target for the Giants, who have 2 3rd round picks. Now, that's if he makes it to the 3rd round. Be interesting to see. You might have to, spend a year or 2, whatever, trying to develop him. But if he can wind up being the man, right? The thing is, if you draft him, the one thing is if you draft him in the, say the 3rd round, now you don't have a 5th-year option on him. So you have to, you got him for 4 years. If you're going to bring him up for a couple years, let him learn, try to mold him, right? So then say you give him the keys to the kingdom in the 3rd year, where you only got him for 2 years, right? And then all of a sudden now you're going to have to wind up signing him to a nice long lengthy contract, so. But apparently, the Giants were to take a chance on Hooker. Dable could keep him in the fold behind Daniel Jones as a high-end developmental prospect. Hooker has all the potential in the world, and with the right coaching staff, which could be Dable, right, could develop into a decent player in the pros. He's got a lot of talent. He can throw the ball. They kind of like, I want to say, the Tennessee offense. They kind of like scheme guys open and all. So it's not that easy. You still look at his numbers in college. You're like, oh, dude, just throw him in there. You're in the NFL, draft him, put him in. We're good to go. He has to be a developmental. It's not somebody you just want to put right out there. But just the fact that the Giants are, looking. they're just trying to cover all the bases because you don't know what's going to go on with Daniel Jones. I mean, if Daniel Jones wants to put his foot down, is what holding out for 45, and the Giants ain't going to sign up for 45, the Giants got to do something, right? Now, the thing, what you could do, right, if Daniel Jones for some reason winds up leaving, right, which is a possibility, you got Tyrod Taylor for this season, right? If you were to draft somebody like Hooker and say the third round, third round, or whatever, right, and have him behind Taylor, right? Tyrod's is his last year coming up with the Giants. The Giants could always try to re-sign him for maybe an additional year, right? But but I mean, say you could have Hooker on the sideline for a year or so, and then maybe put him out there and see what he does. But apparently he's supposed to have a lot of talent. I mean, this is one of those guys, I mean, like possibly maybe like a Jalen Hurts who got picked in the second round, right? A lot of people didn't have a first round grade on him. He got taken in the second round, and look what happened, right? So if you put the right guys around, like I did with Jalen Hurts, the guy can take you to a Super Bowl. I'm not saying Hooker can take anybody to a Super Bowl, but I mean, he has a lot of talent. He just needs to be molded a little bit. So it's just kind of interesting to see that the Giants went out of the way to, I mean, they're trying to just cross the T's and dot the I's just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. Because, I mean, Daniel Jones, as of right now, has not signed anything. But if they have to throw a franchise tag on him, that's going to really eat up their salary cap money. That's not going to leave them a lot of money left over. And so, I mean, as I keep saying, the more money the guys want, and it's great. That's all fine and fancy. But then the less money there is for the team to try to go out and buy other players. I mean, I hate saying greedy, but the more the guys want, the greedier they get, right? The less money there is for to build a team with, and it's, as the Giants are finding out, it's a business, and it's a tough business to try to every year field a decent team, because when guys keep coming up as free agents and all, and they want all kinds of money, it's really, really tough. But going to be interesting to see. We got today's the 22nd, soon to be the 23rd. So we got a couple weeks left. The Giants have like a little less than 2 weeks left to put a tag on somebody, right? And then, of course, you got like a little less than 3 weeks, right? And then free agency starts up. The Giants by the 7th don't get something done with Daniel Jones, look for them to put the tag on him, because if you got between Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, if one of them's got to walk, it's going to have to be Saquon, because the Giants want to wrap up Daniel Jones. But at least the thing is that you can look at it like, if they would throw the franchise tag on Daniel Jones, it's all guaranteed money, comes off the salary cap right away, right, which stinks, but it's just a 1-year deal. Right. So if somehow, I mean, they were able to get, say, Hooker in the third round, right, develop him this year, maybe, develop him one more year, or develop him for 1 year, maybe, and then give him the keys to the kingdom in 2024, right? He would be very cheap, right? And, he's got a lot of tools. You just got to work on him. You have to have some growing pains with him if you have Hooker in there, but it might wind up being worth it in the long run, especially if the Giants, don't work something out with Daniel Jones. Well, guys, it's been 38 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all watching me, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time at all watching and replay this, once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me, guys. It really, really does. And as always, you guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.